morning everybody, it's Paul here at Rio, and today we're going to talk a little bit about bay parking. So I'm back with Ria. You may remember her from a previous episode. We did parallel park together. Ria's going to show us how she reverses the car into a bay now, and I'm going to help out if it's necessary. So I haven't seen it yet. We're going to have a look and see what happens. Alright, so Ria, this could happen on your driving test. An examiner may say to you, please bring the car forward, turn to the right or to the left, it's up to you, straighten up those wheels and then just choose a space and reverse into it. Are you alright with having a go at that?
Yeah. Does it matter which space?
No.
On which side?
No, it's completely your choice. So if you were to turn, say, left here, which would make sense, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. You can choose one anywhere you like. Okay. On either side. So for now, I mean, is it alright? Shall I just stay quiet unless I need to intervene, unless something happens, or some safety critical thing that you might not have noticed? But is it okay if I just let you get on with it? And then we'll see what happens. Alright, lovely. Okay, then. Take your time, enjoy yourself. So the engine's already running, just bring the car forward slowly and take it from there.
This is straight.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say no, it's straight.
Alright.
Okay, I'll wait for this lady to come past.
Fair enough.
I don't want her to.
So have you selected a space that you like the look of?
Yes. But I'll probably get it in the one before.
Okay, it's up to you. We don't care which one.
As long as it gets in the space.
Alright.
Okay then, I'll try this. That's about right.
Okay. Shall we open the door and have a little look?
Yeah, and if it's wobbling.
Alright. Yeah. Okay. So what did you think of that then?
The right's the easier side.
Was you happy with the way it went?
I'd say so.
Okay. Sure. Alright. Have you been practicing this with your dad? Yeah. So have you been coming here? Have you, or where have you been doing that?
Just random car parks, really.
Okay.
Just practicing it on.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, but the car parks that I went to, it was hard to see because they'd have T's on them instead of lines.
Okay. So you've got to be really good to do those, haven't you? Yeah. I know a few places like that. You know, there are a number of ways of going about bay parking, and to be honest with you, an examiner doesn't really care how you get it in the space, as long as it ends up with all four wheels inside the space behind the line. So here we're a little bit wonky, not too much. That wouldn't really be a problem on the test either. I'm just saying, no, that's fine, all four wheels are in there, good. You probably wouldn't want to leave it wonky because people are going to potentially bash your door if they park next to you and things like that. So things like that you need to be thinking about. Right, let me just think now. How did we begin? So you lined yourself up with with some kind of reference point, and then you started bringing the car back. You've completed the job, that's good. Can you think of anything that might have gone wrong? Not in terms of getting the job done, but what can go wrong on a car park when we're trying to reverse the car into a space?
People could run out, or cars could speed up.
Right.
Around, yeah.
And who was we waiting for before we began the exercise?
A car.
Yeah, the novice driver in the other car. So, were you looking around all the time when you were doing this manoeuvre?
I'd say I did it there, and when I turned in here, I looked over there.
Yeah.
And then I pulled in.
Okay, yeah. When you start going backwards, where do you think you need to start looking before you move the car back an inch?
Behind the car.
Yeah. So, is it okay to use the mirror, do you think?
Yeah.
For that?
And use your blind spot on.
Okay. That's what I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just trying to find out, without putting words and ideas into your mouth, what it is that you do on a regular basis. Actually, it's not sufficient just to be checking the mirrors. We need to be looking through every pane of glass all the way around the car, because 1 in 5 accidents happen during a manoeuvre. Okay, so a lot of accidents happen. People are travelling far too quickly. Did you see that car there just come past, driving through all the other spaces, not even going round the car park the long way, but just taking the shortest route across. Now, if you're looking somewhere else to make sure that your references are all lined up nice, you might miss that. Look how fast that she was driving. Yeah. So we need to pretend that we're like a lighthouse and we're just shining and looking all the way around, and as we bring our eyes back, we can have a glance there to see our reference point, we can have a glance there, we can have a glance there, and then we can look over that shoulder again, and then just start sweeping it backwards and forwards, just looking around all the time. If we need to react to something, then you're going to see it might be a good idea to have the windows down again. Do you remember last time we talked about movement?
You can hear people
hearing movement, yeah. So there is that. Now, do you remember when we also did our parallel park a few weeks ago? When you start steering to bring the car into this space, or when you started steering during the parallel park to bring the back of our car around the back of that other vehicle that you were doing the parallel park with, what happens to the front of the car when you start steering? Yeah.
This car comes out faster.
Yeah. So as you,
yeah,
exactly. So if you're going into this spot, the front of the car is going to be going out.
Yeah, because the back's slower than the front, so you have to try and get the back in, but then keep the front.
Well, remember, as you start steering, you're steering the way you want the back of the car to go, aren't you? So the car's going this way, and the front of the car is swinging out. So what could potentially go wrong if the car's swinging out?
The car could be coming here, and you could smack it.
Yeah,
or a kid.
So that would be the time I'll be quickly checking my blind spot before I allow the car to swing out. Just exactly for the same reason as the parallel park. Alright, so I don't really need to alter anything about the way you have done the work.
It's just
observations. So whenever you're ready, shall we have another go and see if you can adopt it with all those observations, and it should be fine, and we'll just see what happens.
Okay.
How's that? Do you want to get on with it by yourself, and I'll just zip?
Yeah, I'll try it that
way,
and then you can tell me what I've done wrong.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't think of it as wrong. We're just trying to make things improve for safety elements, you know?
Yeah, that's alright.
You haven't done a bad job at all, really.
Thank God for that. This is a squeaky steering wheel. Okay, I wouldn't say that's straight if I'm honest. So it isn't. You know, on a car park, are you meant to put your hazards on or no?
What does Rule 116 of the Highway Code say?
Only use it if you're approaching a hazard to warn others.
That you're a temporary obstruction. Are we a temporary obstruction, and do other people need to see that message?
I'd say so, because people come in.
Okay, you could potentially do that. I would personally put the hazards on if you are going to pause the car for a moment. Yeah, but it doesn't appear that we are. So.
Okay then, Paul. Okay then.
So where are we going to look before we let the car move backwards?
All the mirrors. And the blind
every
spots.
pane of glass, not just the mirrors. If you look in this mirror here and then look through the back window there, do that, actually have a look.
Yeah, you can see more.
You can see a lot more. Also, what have you got to the sides? Can you see this through the side windows just by looking in the mirror?
No.
So now you've got peripheral vision, so you might see somebody from this side of the car over there, where there might be some shops, walking across the car park towards her vehicle, and you wouldn't have seen that just by looking there. Did you get me?
Yeah.
So if you have a good look all the way around, you've got peripheral vision as well.
Okay. I'll double check. Okay, I don't see anything.
It's good now, just keep checking around because things change. That's it. You never assume, don't assume that just because that's a learner car behind us they're going to wait and be patient. Never assume. Okay, is it still okay on my side?
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going then. Just frequently check, keep looking all around.
Move forward.
Good, relax, take a breath, it's fine. Is there anything going on behind us?
No.
So if you're making an adjustment, check behind you as well. You can do this, I know you can. It's getting warm in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, handbrake on, just relax just for a moment. Okay, let's see, let's have a look. Yeah, you're in absolutely fine. How did that one feel?
Felt more, it felt good, but it's just pressure because you have to keep looking. And when I was looking, I noticed that I kind of steered out a bit more because I was looking for like ages, checking for things.
Okay, if you need to, then how we can pause the car, can't we? We can pause. We don't have to make the car go in one fluid motion. We can just pause the car and have a quick look all around. Stop the car as many times as you like if you need to. No problem. One thing I've noticed as you were backing it in straight, you're making those final adjustments, and yeah, we could have gone back potentially a little bit more because. Yeah, I know there's a car behind us. Personally, I would have chosen a different spot. It's not a mistake, but for safety reasons, I'm always thinking what could go wrong, and there's a car behind us. So I'm thinking, why even risk slipping off your clutch and hitting another vehicle if there's all these other spaces there? So that's one thing to think about. Other things to think about, I mean, with experience, you will begin to look at other cars in the car park and think, I don't want to park, say, next to that car there if you see a child seat in the back. You might think, oh, what's that got to do with anything? But the lady who's looking after the child there might need to swing that back door open a little bit wider and might clip your car. Or the child might open the car wider. So, you know, if someone is badly parked, you know, a little bit too close to one of the lines, you might again avoid that spot for those sorts of reasons. But anyway, back to the point that I was going to make first of all. We know when we're properly in the space, when the door mirrors are back a little bit further. Now when you're at a T-junction, okay, when you're at a T-junction and you're positioned to turn right at a T-junction, which is just left of centre, isn't it? How do you know when you're far enough forward at that T-junction?
Because the lines just...
Where are they?
Either just under the mirror.
Yeah.
I'd say just under the mirror.
Okay, yeah, quite correct. So where do you think, if you were to join up all those lines to see the ends of the bays,
Yeah.
if you were to join them all up in your mind and draw a line through them all there at the end of each bay, would the line go underneath your mirror?
No.
Not quite.
It's like that much.
Well, a little bit, yeah. And I understand you haven't gone back far enough because there is a car there, and I don't know if he's badly parked, but you know, I wouldn't like to go back much more anyway, so we'll leave it there. That's fine. As you were coming back, I know. Did you feel as though the car was zigzagging a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know why that was?
No.
Because as you were looking at your door mirrors to get things adjusted, you think, oh, I need to go that way a little bit, for example, and you were steering quite a lot to the left. And then as the car reacted to that, the front of the car started to swing out, and then you started putting the opposite turns on. So the car started to zigzag. So an easy way to fix this is, can you see you got these stalks here? You got a stalk there and a stalk there.
Yeah.
So we just cover the stalks as we go back. And what do I mean by that? Let me show you. I'm just going to take over controls, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just bring the car forward. I'm just going to go over here. So let's imagine now, I'm doing this so that you can see without worrying about controlling the car, okay? So I want to get the car a little bit to the left, alright? So I'm going to release the handbrake. I want the back of the car to go that way a bit, so I'm going to steer that way a little bit, and I'm going to cover that stalk up. See how I've just covered the stalk up?
Yeah.
And then, I'm just looking all around, it's all good behind me. Watch what happens. Can you see the back of the car is starting to go that way a little bit? Yeah. So I haven't got to make massive adjustments on a steering. And when we get there, we'll just cover up the other stalk. See how I've just covered up the other one?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to bring it back, make sure that the door mirror is sitting on top of the ends of the lines, which it appears to be. And then I'm braking neutral, we're done. So I'm going to bring the car forward, okay, and what I want you to do, I'm going to deliberately make it so that I can't get my door open, alright? So I'm going to be too close to this line, alright? So, I want you to use your covering the stalks method to send the car back now. Alright, so where do we want the back of the car to go, which direction? So if you were to come back in a straight line now, we've got a line there and we've got a line there. Which line are we closest to at the moment?
Sorry, that one.
Okay, so
This way.
So you want to go that way a bit. So just cover up that stalk.
Like that.
Yeah, that's it. Put yourself into reverse gear.
Do
Check
first.
all around.
Yeah.
And let a little bit of air in there.
Yeah, 'cause it's hot. Just like that.
Yeah. And that way you haven't got to faff around with steering too much, and you can spend more time observing outside. Can you see what's going on with the car? And now you've covered up the other stalk, leave it like that. How are we looking?
Good.
Yeah, much better. So we're just going from stalk to make small adjustments. Just going to put the air conditioning on. It's a little bit warm, isn't it? There we go. And if you look at the ends of the bays on the left hand side, do they finish underneath the door mirror?
This one does.
Okay, that's fine. If you look over your right shoulder now, Ria, can you see the line that goes behind the back of the car? Is it somewhere by the corner of your door?
No, so I'd have to go back a bit more.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Only a little bit.
Bit there.
Perfect. So that's another way you can tell if you're in properly, if you've gone back far enough. You're looking for the lines to be under there, and when you look over that right shoulder, the line that's behind you should be somewhere by the corner of your door.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of practice, you'll know every time. Right. That's it, simple as that. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I might be teaching somebody from scratch how to do bay parking. Today was a remedial lesson. I don't need to over instruct Ria. She's obviously got some of the skills needed to put the car in a space. We just needed to make a few adjustments to make it safer. So all good. Catch you later. Leave your questions and comments down below, please.